Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is definitely a pretty crazy one, an interesting one. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. If you do, leave a like on the video, and let's just jump right into today's story time. Actually, real quick before we jump into it, just want to say I'm live on Twitch within the first few hours of this going up. First link in the description. Anyway, so today's story time all takes place in 10th grade. Now, 10th grade was one of the last years I was in school. I was kind of in 10th grade on and off. Like, I would get sent to this, like, out-of-school program because I wouldn't show up very often. And it was just, like, a very on and off year for me when it came to school. And it all starts off as a normal day in 10th grade. I wake up, I get up out of bed, I take a shower, I eat something. I was actually up pretty early on this day, like a lot earlier than I usually was. So, I had some more time to kind of, like, wake myself up and, like, actually eat something instead of just rolling out of bed and, like, showering in record time and then, like, getting to school really quick. I actually had time to, chill and enjoy my morning. So fast forward about 30, 45 minutes later, I get to school, I walk in, it was about 7 in the morning, classes started at 7:15. Yeah, I had to be on the fucking bus by 6:20 a.m. and get to school at 7, and classes would start at 7:15. Like, my school started so fucking early. I know a lot of you guys probably also have schools that start that early, but my school was the only one in my area that started that early. So me in my head, I'm like, of course I picked the one fucking school that starts the earliest out of all of them. Anyway, I get to school, I go to my locker, I start, getting my stuff out that I need, emptying out my backpack, and just getting everything organized as much as I could. And while I'm at my locker, just getting organized, my friend runs up to me. Let's just call this friend Jeremy. Jeremy runs up to me and he's like, yo, are you ready to have the best day of your high school career yet? Now, Jeremy fucking hated school. Like, out of everyone that I knew in life, besides myself, he genuinely hated school more than anybody. Like, every morning when that motherfucker would walk into school, it looked like his family dog just died. He'd look so depressed and so hopeless in life because he hated school that much. So when he came up to me all happy and, like, optimistic and saying, are you ready to have the best day of your school career or whatever, I was like, what the fuck got into you, man? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, I have a surprise for you. I'll see you in first period. And he just runs off. And I'm like, okay, that was fucking weird. Anyway, and I continue back to just organizing my stuff. And I go to my first period class about a minute later. So I get to first period class. I sit down next to Jeremy. We sat next to each other at the same table. And he's got this big smirk on his face. And he has a bag of Doritos in front of him. And it's open. And I was like, Jeremy, what's gotten into you today, man? Like, what are you hiding from me? Why are you so happy? What happened? Just tell me. And he slides the bag of Doritos over to me. And he goes, eat one. And I was like, what the hell did you do to these chips, Jeremy? He's like, nothing. Just eat one. I was like, fine. I don't know why I took his word for it when he said nothing. But I grab one and I eat it. Nothing, right? Just a normal ass Dorito. I go to grab it again, grab another one, because now I'm hungry at this point. And I feel something in the bag that's a little bit not like a Dorito. And I pull it out, and it's a stem. And I realize very quickly, he has mushrooms mixed in with these Doritos, and he's eating them together so he doesn't taste the mushrooms as much. And I'm like, Jeremy, are these fucking shrooms? And he gets the biggest smile on his face, and he goes, mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I almost just ate one of them. He's like, do you want one? I was like, no. Like, it's 7 in the morning, bro. It's too early for that. And yeah, for once in my life, I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing it. And for once, I actually stuck to my word and didn't do it. But that didn't stop me from getting completely fucked over by Jeremy's bullshit. So he continues to eat these Dorito/mushrooms like candy throughout all of class, right? And he gets to a point where the teacher gets annoyed with him for munching too loud. The teacher stops his lesson and goes, Jeremy, you're being way too loud crunching on those chips, man. Stop. And of course, he was eating them all morning, even before he came to school. He was up all night just eating and getting high. So he was already kind of fucked up. And he's laughing and giggling every time he's being loud. And he gets to a point where the teacher gets pissed off and walks over to our table and confiscates these Doritos, which have mushrooms in them as well, like mixed in. And the teacher looks at them while he's picking them up. And he goes, what are these? And he takes one out and he immediately realizes what it is. I guess Jeremy didn't mix them in well enough and put them at the bottom because a bunch of them were still on top. And the teacher saw this when he was picking the bag up. And yeah, he immediately realized what it was. And he goes, Jeremy, main office, now. And he looks at me too and he goes, you go as well. And I was like, what? I wasn't even doing anything. He goes, I see it on your fingers, Austin, go. And I looked down on my hand and there's a little bit of orange powder on my 2 fingers because I ate one of these fucking chips that Jeremy had. And I was like, oh my, like, this just isn't happening right now. I'm not about to go to the office and get blamed for some shit I didn't even do because I ate a Dorito. Like, no way. And I tried telling my teacher, I was like, you don't understand. Like, I just ate one of the chips. I didn't eat what was mixed in with them. He's like, yeah, okay, Austin, sure you did. And he sends me up to the office anyway. And I just go up there with Jeremy. We both sit down. The principal walks in. The principal already knew what was happening because our teacher called ahead while we were walking up there and explained what happened in class. And our principal was very upset, to say the least. Like, very upset. Like, immediately starts yelling at both me and Jeremy, saying that we are a disgrace to the school, we give it a bad name, that, we could be expelled for what we did, and that we're lucky we're only getting suspended. And that's when I interrupted. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I didn't do shrooms. I didn't do it. Like, I was sitting next to him, yes. I ate one of the chips, yes. I didn't eat one of the fucking mushrooms. I didn't do this. And my principal's like, Austin, watch your language, and I don't believe you. I'm like, I don't care who you have to call in, but I will prove to you that I didn't do shit. Like, drug test me or something. Find the test you have to do, because I'll take it. Even Jeremy speaks up and has my back. He's like, nah, you don't understand. I told him to eat one of the chips. He ate one. Then when he went back for another, he noticed there was some mushrooms mixed in with them, and he put them back and did not eat any. He's like, trust me, Austin did not do any mushrooms at all. And my principal goes, sure. That's why it was on your fingers, right? I was like, it was Dorito dust. Okay, fuck, dude. And my principal tells me to go wait in the waiting area and to leave the office because I am being too loud and swearing too much. But I was just really upset because I didn't do that shit. So anyway, I get sent out. I have to wait in the office while my principal deals with Jeremy just completely one-on-one. And about 20 minutes later, I get called back in. And my principal's already on the phone with my mom explaining what happened. And then I explain my side of the story. And thank fuck to my luck and to my mom being cool, she believed me and knew that I was telling the truth. And I ended up not getting in trouble, at least not on my parents' end of things at home. I still got in some trouble at school. Here's what ended up happening. My principal dialed back the sentence on me. I didn't have to get suspended, but I had to get in-school suspension. So I was in ISS, so in-school suspension for 2 days because I didn't tell on Jeremy. That was the reason I was punished. Not because I did the shrooms, but because I kept it a secret and I knew about it, which I think is kind of a bullshit punishment, but whatever. 2 days ISS, I just sit in a room with like 2 other people in silence for 2 days straight, basically. And after that, I was good. Jeremy, on the other hand, got a week and a half out of school suspension and like 2 days in school suspension when he came back. And he was pretty much on his last strike before getting expelled. And unfortunately for Jeremy, 2 months later, he did get expelled for a completely different thing. But that's another story time for another time. Maybe I'll tell that one tomorrow or something. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I had to do, a little bit of in-school suspension. Luckily, my principal didn't out-of-school suspend me, even though that probably would have been way more fun because I could have just played video games. But it's okay. I, had less than Jeremy, so that was good. And my parents were on my side, and that's all I wanted. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. I thought it was a pretty crazy one. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.